Hey, how's it going? I'm going to do an update on my feeders. I'm going to pretty much just focus in on the worms, the mealworms and the superworms right now. Show you guys how to breed them so you don't have to pay for this stuff. It gets expensive when you got a lot of pets, and breeding's the only way to go. First, I'll start with the mealworms. Just a shoe box, clear shoe box. You know, got some vent holes. You know, just got a vent in the top of it. Pretty much just fill it with ground up oatmeal. Let me show you what I've got. I just buy oatmeal because you can get it for like $1 in a big container. Reach down and grab this. See this? This is a coffee grinder, okay? I bought it for like $8 at Walmart. And I just put some oatmeal in that, grind it up, and it makes a good substrate. So this one, I think I put about 200, maybe 300. No, I think it was about 200 mealworms in here. You can kind of see them. They're pretty small, but just put them in there and let them pupate. Go through here every once in a while, and that's what I'm doing now. And I decided to get the camera out and kind of do an update on it. But I go through it every once in a while and pick out the dead ones. You know, the little black guys. They're dead. So I go through and pick out all the dead ones, and then look for pupates. You know, once you kind of get into this, you kind of know what a pupate looks like. Yeah, just sift through and find all the pupates out of here. Here's some of that I found. There's 3 of them, 4 of them. This is a pretty new batch. I only started this batch maybe a week ago, so there's not a whole lot of pupates yet. So then I take these pupates and I put them in these little separators, you know, that you can also get pretty cheap, that I use for my superworms. So I just pick out these pupates, put one pupate in each one of these. I've also seen people just keep them in a container just like this, all the pupates together. So, and if you're doing, you know, if you're doing hundreds of them at a time, then maybe just to, you know, get a container, or even a cricket keeper, maybe putting all the pupates in the cricket keeper until they turn into worms. But I don't got a whole lot of this batch going. Turn into pupates. Like I said, there's 4 there. If I run out of these, I'll probably start putting them in a critter keeper. But as long as there's just a few, I'm just going to keep them in there. And then check on them. As soon as they turn into beetles, they'll eat their pupate skin, whatever. And then they go into another shoebox. You know, you put a same stuff for substrate, just oatmeal, ground up oatmeal. You need to put celery or some sort of vegetable in there so it can get its water. You don't have to add water or moisture to these at all. And then an egg crate. Yeah, you can see one of the mealworm beetles right there. So, and you just keep them in this container till they die. And once they die, you pull everything out of it, put the lid on it, and then wait for more mealworms to appear. And as they appear, you do the same thing. Just open it up, start sifting through it, get out all the dead guys. When they're worms, you don't have to add vegetables or anything for moisture. They're okay just the way they are. So, and then just continue that cycle. And they go pretty fast. It's not too bad with the mealworms. The superworms, I want to show you what I've done differently. On one of my previous videos, I told you I was having a lot of deaths just putting, you know, we put the mealworms have to be separated. They do a lot better this way. But I was getting a lot of deaths, putting them in with no food. And so here they all are. You can see that guy's pupated, that guy's pupated, he's pupated. You still get deaths. Yeah, there's a dead one right there. But no, I'm noticing I'm not getting them as bad. So I'm getting a lot more out of my superworms by putting a little bit of ground up oatmeal in each one of these containers. So yeah, just put those guys Let them pupate, let them turn into beetles. All of these are going pretty quick. My first batch didn't go as quick. And I didn't do any kind of food source at all. I just put them in there without nothing, just dry. And these guys are pupating faster than my last batch did. See, they got a lot of pupates in these, and these were only done, I think they've been in here 2 weeks. So that's what all of these are superworms. And then the same thing with them. Once those pupates turn into beetles, you get a shoebox here. I got them all labeled. Here's my superworms. Shoebox, same thing. Substrate is just a ground up oatmeal. There's a beetle in there. Same thing. Put some celery or something for vegetables. These beetles are a lot bigger. So let me turn that light on. Sorry for the moving the camera. I'm kicking a light on. So yeah, there's some beetles in there. If I lift this up, there should be a bunch under there. Yeah, those are all superworm beetles. So we just do the same thing, keep them in there till they die. After everything's dead, just pull everything out of there, all the celery and the egg crates, and put a lid on it. And once you start getting superworms, I let them get a little big. Don't just pull them right out immediately when they're when you first start seeing them, because you know they have to get pretty good size before they start pupating. I'll show you some of these guys. I usually don't put them in. You can kind of see these guys are pretty big, you know, and you know they've got to shed their skins several times before they get big. You know, I'm gonna go through all these, why they got these out, and pull out all the deaths, you know. So I'm gonna go through in each one and get rid of the dead ones, and and yeah, so and they turn around pretty good. You're looking from buying superworms at the store to having superworms to feed, you're about 2 months, even possibly 3, depending on how small the superworms are when you get them. Sometimes they take, you know, you can buy them and they can be pretty small, and it can take, you know, 3 weeks before they're even ready to pupate. So you got a few months, you figure, to get started before you can start feeding your animals with them. I started out with probably 100 of them, and I haven't fed much out of them. I've done a little bit, but I've kind of just rotated them, getting them a bigger supply, and I got probably now about 600 in these little containers. So my tarantulas really love the superworms. The mealworms, you know, we've got lizards in the house. We've got water dragons and bearded dragons and stuff like that we feed a lot with superworms. But I also feed a lot of my small tarantulas with them. They seem to like them. So, but that's the worms. I'm gonna do an update on the crickets. I've tried a few ways of breeding them, and I'm trying a third way now. I'm trying to find what's the best way to do it, the fastest way to get a turnaround, and less deaths and less mess, and you know, the easiest way. And I'll do an update for those guys once I've got this third time go around and see how it does. And then yeah, we'll do an update. Keep you guys informed. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching.